Was that the moment when you thought, hey, I can make chess a career?
No, the way I made chess a career came completely was actually forced on me. Like a lot of stuff that happens in my life, it looks like people just want to give me money for some reason, right? It's like, okay, I'll take it. But I was by then a 2400, playing in the Manhattan Chess Club, playing regularly blitz on a Friday night, just hanging out, and Doug Belize, who's a chess master, approached me and said, would you be interested in teaching chess? And I was in college at the time. I said, would you be interested in teaching chess? And I had no clue about teaching chess at all, period. And he said, there's a program that the American Chess Foundation, which is now the Chess in the Schools program, there's this chess program that we're running in the inner city. And we think, you'd be good at it. Would you do it? And I still was like, I don't know. And he said, well, it pays $50 an hour.
It's not bad.
What? Yeah, I'll do that. And I mean, I was a college kid. This was 1988. First ever chess job. I said, I'm with it. And so I started coaching chess. And I would go to the Bronx and Harlem and teach basically in the hood. But I grew up in the hood. So it was cool teaching kids that grew up the way I grew up. And they follow right behind me. And it was just fun. So I was a coach for many, many years. And that's how my career really started in chess.
And in 1992, you won the Game 10 championship, right? Or you played against Max Delugi in the finals. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it was a monster tournament. They had GM after GM, Gulko, who I beat, and just all these players. But I played blitz with the Black Bear School in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
So I made a run, and I wasn't even an IM, and I tied for first ahead of these GMs with Max Delugi, who now is like the infamous Max Delugi. And he beat me 2-0 in the finals. So I didn't really win it. We kind of tied for first. It was a national title at the time. But yeah, it was one of my best results.
And he was a grandmaster at that
Yes,
point, right?
absolutely.
And you were an international master?
I was not an international master yet. I became an international master in 1993.
And when did you start gaining the GM norms?
In
When was your first GM norm?
1993, Enhanced International tournament I won ahead of Shabalov, Gingiashvili, and Fedorowicz.
And your rating was about
And
what
I was
at that point?
2,500 at the time.
It was already 2,500.
USC, I was 2,400 FIDE.
FIDE, yeah.
But growing fast. I was winning. I got the IM title that same year. And fun fact, along the path to growth, as I was getting better, just rewind for a second, I beat the first chess master I ever played. I beat the first IM I ever played. So the first master was Danny Shapiro. I beat the first IM I ever played, Jonathan Schroer. And I drew the first GM I ever played, Andy Soltis. So I was like, these guys aren't that good. Of course, later I lose a lot of games. But the growth was really fast at one point. And so I really felt like I could do it and get to the title. And so 93 was when I got my norms. I got my IM title that year. And then I got my first GM title. My first GM norm. But I got it about a month after I found out that my girlfriend, now ex-wife, was pregnant. And I had told her, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get my norms. I'm going to become a GM. And then we're going to get married. And then we're going to have kids. And it turned out that the kid was first. That the marriage, right? The kid was on the way. The marriage came second. And the title took another 6 years. So things don't always work out like you planned.
So you had everything, just not in the right order.
Just not in the wrong move order. Like you should have turned the move order around.
Were there any of the top American players that you also worked with besides just playing with them?
No, my first coach was Vitaly Zaltzman, who also happened to be Maxim Delugi's first coach, and Ukrainian. And I got that because the American Chess Foundation, there was a professor at my school, City College, where I graduated. He saw me playing chess, and he's like, there's this talented young man who I think deserves lessons. And so they got a package together for me to get a trainer. He spoke to the American Chess Foundation. They got a package for me because I couldn't afford the lessons, to go get chess lessons. And so I would go to Brooklyn. I'd go in down Ocean Parkway, take the bus to the Russian neighborhood, And I'd be walking, and you'd like see these babushkas looking up. Who's the kid? And I'm like, where am I, man? And I go to Zaltzman's apartment, and he just started breaking down chess moves, and he would trash my game. I would do stuff, and he's like, come on. Every Russian schoolboy knows this. I was like, what? I don't know it. And he'd just tear my game apart. And he was IM level. And because of him, I grew very fast. And he was largely responsible for me getting to the IM title when I did.
It was that classical training, right?
Yeah,
classical
I had
Russian training.
I was doing too much gangster stuff,
Yeah.
just throwing stuff at people, and I had no idea of pawn formations, nothing. And he started really schooling.
Did you guys
me.
like study classical games? Or?
Mm-hmm. Classical games? Mainly, he went over my games. Mainly, that was the thing. We'd go over games, and he'd just be disgusted, and then he'd say, "Do this." And I'd be like, oh, that is a good move. Damn. And I grew. One thing I was able to do was sponge up whatever somebody told me, and I could morph and copy your style very fast. And I really picked up his positional style that added to my more dynamic style.
But not everybody works well with this type of coaches, right? That just trash talk you and trash your game. You were oblivious to that. You didn't care, yeah?
He couldn't say anything that they didn't say in the Black Bear School. Come on, man. In Brooklyn, they talk about your mama. They want to date your sister. Like, what is he going to say? Like, all you do is like, okay, whatever. Let's keep it going. And what would happen for me, it was even better because I would be in the middle of a game and I would hear Zaltzman's voice. I'd be like, nah, he's going to be criticizing this.
Were you trash talking him at all? Or?
Oh, never. Never, no.
There was some respect there, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that would be out of line. He was in his 50s. I was 23 years old. I wouldn't do that with him. And he wasn't trash talking me. He was just telling me I was making bad moves.
Right.
Like, he wasn't trying to hurt my feelings. But that was good. That was good. And I remember I would bring back games and he would just rip them apart. And I played this one game in St. Martin. There was a chess tournament in St. Martin. Same tournament I beat Shabalov, one of my best games, the game I'm most proud of. And I played this game in a hedgehog position. It wasn't against a very strong player, but I handled it very well. And after the game, after we went back, I went back to New York to look at it with Zaltzman. And the very first time he finished the game and he said, "You played this like a world-class player." And I was like, Zaltzman said, what? What? And that really was the kind of compliment you get that was gold. You remember forever. Because all the other stuff was, this is terrible. What are you doing? So that was a big moment for me.
It almost feels like the Queen's Gambit and her relationship with the janitor and that type of situation.
Yeah,
Did
except
you feel the same way?
Yeah, except I wasn't drinking and doing drugs. But it was a big deal to have a trainer.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't have a trainer until I was
21?
already 21 years old.
Wow.
And in 2400 USCF, I was about 2300 FIDE. And he helped me to go to the next level.
When did your love for endgames and studies develop?
That's like in the last year.
Oh, really?
I never used to like endgame.
Oh.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Studies, I've loved those for a couple of decades. Absolutely. Endgames, I don't know if I love endgames as much as I love studies, but definitely much more recent. Back then, it was all tall. If it wasn't a combination, don't show it.